Hey everybody, it's me. Today is November the 30th, and I am 25 weeks and 3 days pregnant today. I'll go ahead and start off with the symptoms that I am experiencing now. One of the sadder sides of being pregnant is that your emotions do run a little crazy sometimes. And things that used to just bother me before kind of make me really, really upset now. So I will admit sometimes I do go through the little depression phases, but it doesn't last very long and it's not, serious or anything like that. But I mean, it's kind of a big deal for me because I am usually just, easygoing and things like that. But my depression is kind of magnifying a little bit. As far as feeling the kicks, I am definitely feeling kicks, more like rumbles and somersaults. At first, I guess I was just feeling the flutters, as they call it, and it's just what flutters feel like. It's almost like you have gas, is the best way I can describe it. Like it's almost like you have gas, like it's trying to go down and roll back up. Like that's kind of how the flutters feel. But as far as the kicks, like it's a little more intense. It doesn't hurt though. It kind of feels like you know how your muscle feels when you're having like a muscle spasm, like it just starts jumping, like you feel yourself moving, but you're not controlling the movements. That's more like how the kicks feel. And it's weird because now that I'm showing a little bit, like you can see the movement in my stomach. Like if you're watching my stomach, like you'll just see it jump every so often. So I think that's kind of cute. And it feels especially weird when she's starting to rumble around while I'm walking. It like makes me want to stop in my tracks and just let her, do her thing. And then I'll, keep going with whatever I was doing. Another thing, my happy trail, or whatever the medical term for it, it's the line going down your stomach. It is getting darker. So I know that is one of the common things for pregnant women to experience. So it did get darker maybe about a month ago. And yeah, it's just getting a little darker from there. My belly button is starting to come out, but it's coming out weird. Like I thought it just all just popped out at one time, but it's like the top of it wants to come out first and the bottom is going to make its way out. I don't know. My belly button's kind of weird, I guess. But I know I mentioned in one of my previous videos that I was going to get a scrapbook, which I did actually get a while ago. I forgot to mention it to you guys. I got it from Walmart. It's a cute little scrapbook. It's very detailed though. Like it made me wonder why I didn't get it earlier. Because, it asks questions like, what day did mommy discover that she was pregnant? I don't remember the date. I just remember it was over the summer in the middle of July sometime. And the first time I felt her kick or move or whatever, I don't remember the date. I just remember the month. It was sometime in September. So it's a very detailed book, and I think it goes up to like 5 years or something like that. So this is basically a childhood book, I guess. So I think that's really good. I thought it was just going to be, the scrapbook for the pregnancy, but it's actually the pregnancy throughout, the toddler years. My mom, again, gave me some literature. She let me borrow this magazine, As Baby Grows, and it has some pretty nice illustrations in here. I'll go ahead and show you guys the 6th month because that's where I am right now. And in the 6th month, the baby starts to develop the Vernix wax to protect its skin basically from, getting soggy, sitting in the amniotic fluid for so long. And they have a picture of what the baby looks like. That's going to be the Vernix wax, that little cheesy stuff that looks like it's on the baby's eyebrows. there's a thin layer of it all over the skin, but it appears more heavy on the eyebrows and on the eyelids and everything like that. So I've been reading up on this book, and it shows you, you know, pictures throughout the whole pregnancy. So I think it's a very insightful magazine. Now I had a doctor's appointment on the 20th, which was 10 days ago. It was kind of scary because it was a follow-up appointment on my on a pap smear that they did in the past on me. It did come up irregular or abnormal. So, you know, again, they had to do the follow-up to make sure that everything was okay. They did have to perform a biopsy on me, on my cervix. And if you don't know what a biopsy is, it is kind of painful. Basically, the tool that they use to perform the normal pap smear is usually just a little plastic thing that just, you know, holds it open just enough for you to get the, you know, Q-tip in and swab on the outsides. But no, this tool was probably about this big, and it had to go all the way in and open up like basically my entire vagina. And he had to go in with a tool maybe about this long. It was kind of sharp, and basically like pinch and like snatch a piece of my cervix out to take a sample and send it off to the lab and get it tested, because he thought he found cervical cancer. I had a follow-up appointment from there on the 27th to wait for my results. He said it would take 7 days for the results to come in. So in those 7 days, the first 2 days, I was unable to go to work. I was basically on bed rest because so much blood pumps through your placenta and the cervical area while you're pregnant. I think he said it's about 1 liter every 6 minutes. So he was afraid that I was going to bleed very heavily. So I needed to just relax and recuperate from the biopsy before returning to work and doing basically any rigorous activities. So on that 7th day, I definitely came back in to, for the results, because it had me nervous. I was crying, depressed, everything. But fortunately, the results came back that it was not cervical cancer. He said it just looks like basically my body is like the aftermath of my body fighting off some sort of infection. And he said it looks like my body is winning, so that's a good thing. That news really put me in a bad spot because, you know, who's not going to be nervous about having cervical cancer? And he was saying that depending on the severity of it, either if it was basically nothing, just little bit, it would come off throughout while I was giving birth, because the first layer of your placenta or of your cervix peels off while you're giving birth. So he said if it's just mild, it'll basically take care of itself. If it was moderate, I would have to come in 6 weeks after giving birth to go into surgery and get it removed. And if it was severe, which would be worst case scenario, they would actually have to perform surgery before I gave birth. And of course, that would be very dangerous for me and the baby because, you know, for me, I would be losing a lot of blood. And for the baby, that is very close to where the baby is. And, you know, the cervix is what dilates while you're going into labor. So you don't want to go into, you know, false labor and things like that. So I'm glad that it was nothing. And that was just a relief. Like, he instantly put a smile on my face. It made my life when he told me that it wasn't cervical cancer. So my next doctor's appointment is going to be December 28th. He wanted to make it after Christmas, so I think it may be a little further than 4 weeks out, but that's fine with me. I don't want to go in on Christmas. But it's at 9:15 a.m. So I will follow up with you guys with more ultrasound pictures. I think I should be getting some more on that appointment. But yeah, until next time, thanks for watching. Oh, wait. before I end that, sorry, I did want to show what my belly looks like. It grew a little bit, kind of just looks like I have a pot belly though. And my little line is getting darker. As you can see, my weird belly button growing from the top and not the bottom. But yeah, that is me at 25 plus weeks. Now, I'll see you guys next time.